Pinot Grigio and Pinot Gris are a grape variety in chapter 12. Pinot Grigio is the Italian version of this grape variety. Pinot Gris is the French version of this grape variety. And now today it's kind of grown all over the world in two different styles in our cool and moderate climates, in two different styles. The Pinot Grigio style, like the Italian style, is a high acidity, light-bodied wine, versus if the label is Pinot Gris, like the French wine, it is more full-bodied and complex. So, Pinot Grigio is medium to high acidity, cool and moderate climate, and we just discussed the two styles, high acidity, light-bodied versus full-bodied and complex. And on the left side, we have the first style. So the Pinot Grigio in the first style is more like the Italian style. They are producing high yields of grapes and harvesting them early. This is allowing the wine to be, they're usually fermenting it all the way to dryness, but the high yields of grapes harvested early allows for high acidity and light-bodied. They're also very simple, with just simple flavors of apple and lemon. When we talk about Pinot Gris, the exact same grape grown in France, or this style grown other places, this is our full-bodied, more complex. So we're actually going to, rather than like in Italy, harvest early, for the Pinot Gris, we're delaying harvesting, and we're also controlling the yield. We're not doing mass yield production on these. And that's allowing us to have riper grapes. And we often have different styles as well, from dry, off-dry to medium. And some winemakers will interrupt the fermentation by removing the yeast. They interrupt the fermentation by removing the yeast to get these different levels of sweetness. So it's lower in acidity than the Italian style. It's a medium acidity. Pinot Gris is. It's fuller in body, and it has higher in sugar because we're delaying the harvest and we're getting more complex flavors like banana, stone fruit, mango, and we may even share some of the lemon flavors from the Pinot Grigio. The flavors are also more concentrated in this Pinot Gris style, the French style Pinot Gris, and they can develop in the bottle. Pinot Grigio is meant to drink it young because you'll lose your flavors, and the Pinot Gris is going to last longer in the bottle, and the most outstanding examples can have honey and ginger. So let's look at these two countries. This is Italy, and there's two main areas that Pinot Grigio is made in Italy. So something to note is that influences Pinot Grigio grape growing regions is this Adriatic Sea here. And these are your regions that most of Pinot Grigio is coming from. The Veneto region, and also to its right, the Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. In Veneto, we have, we're doing more mass production, more simple, unoaked, light-bodied Pinot Grigios. And in Friuli, Venezia, we're doing fuller bodied, more complex. We're still calling it Pinot Grigio, but this is the Italian version that's a little fuller bodied. And you'll notice that the C here, this moderates this temperature. We've got warm winters and cooler summers because of the sea influences in Veneto. And we've also got that in Friuli, Venezia. However, there's more variety of climate here in Friuli, Venezia, because we have these mountains up here. And so there's just more change from the sea influences to the mountain influences. Okay, so in Veneta, simple, mass production, unoaked, light-bodied, and these are usually acceptable to good quality. They usually have a short finish, and on the label you'll see Delle Venezia DOC. Delle means from the Venezia DOC, or Veneto IGT. And that's Veneto. And then in Friuli, Venezia, we just remember it's the fuller bodied, more complex Pinot Grigios. Now, the Pinot Gris style in France is mainly coming from the Alsace region of France. And remember, we talked about the French Pinot Gris style as being more complex, higher in sugar, fuller bodies, and their harvesting of the grapes is delayed. So in Alsace, we are delaying or picking later when they're extra ripe. That's going to decrease our acidity and increase our complexity of flavors. We can get anywhere from dry to medium sweetness. And the best Pinot Gris in France are in the Grand Cru regions of Alsace. Finally, Pinot Grigio today, as we mentioned earlier, they're making it all over the world, and they're choosing whether they put Pinot Grigio for the Italian version, light-bodied, high acidity, or labeling it Pinot Gris, with the second style being more like the Italian version, Pinot Grigio light, or the French version, Pinot Grigio more complex, more body. If you see on a label, Vendeges tardives, that means, I believe it means tardy or late harvest. So this Pinot Gris from Alsace is the late harvest grapes. We have a wonderful Grand Cru Pinot Gris. Some of the best Pinot Gris are from the Grand Cru region of Alsace. Or we just have our regular Alsace AOC Pinot Grigios.